Let's look at the Musk-Trump connection from 2016 to present. Elon Musk secured a seat at that table, a round table of brilliant people, where he made the big stink and walked out, said he'd never do anything with that monkey's fucking a football or whatever comment that he made. Then he turned around and secured the contracts for Starlink in all of the swing states. Didn't really have much interest in getting the contracts for the others. So he got that. He got enough government contracts where he is making, before this Trump presidency started, he's making $8 million a day off of taxpayer money. That's $8 million a day. That's what he's already making. Since Doge has been enacted, and Doge being a government, not government entity that's run by Elon Musk, but since he's not a government employee, he doesn't have to divest all of his, interests in all of his businesses, and he doesn't have to report all of his business deals, and he doesn't have to do all of those things that the oversight and transparency in being a very important government official, especially one with the ability and the power to shut off world aid programs and maybe Social Security and Medicare, forcing, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of veterans to stop losing benefits, elderly stop losing benefits, all of that stuff. Someone with that much power, for sure has to have some sort of oversight. It's not like the government is being run through like signal apps or something. There's those laws that everything has to be documented, and the cabinet and the discussions and all that about like military stuff is actually supposed to be reported with like the National Archives. That's like part of the Constitution, I thought. But anyway, signal works, I guess. But with Musk, he gets these Starlink contracts as he's getting contracts worldwide, as Starlink is the only Wi-Fi for Gaza. So the Palestinians basically rely on Starlink for their defense and their communications and everything else, because Israel blew everything to hell. But he also has contracts with Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu for all of his other companies. Okay, anyway, but there has been, since the Doge cuts, SpaceX signed $5.92 billion in new contracts. That's not counting what he's already making $8 million a day on. $5.37 billion in United Launch Services, which is another Elon Musk company. $2.39 billion on Blue Origin stocks. Yeah, so he has, what they do, by the way, is if he's in business with, like, say, SpaceX, he's got the rockets. So SpaceX is basically like driving there and back. It's the vehicle. Now you can actually have SpaceX rent from this, say, United Launch Services, which provides the pad and the launching facilities and command control and all that stuff. That could be a separate company. So one of your companies makes monies off the other company. And then when you do that and you get into a situation where you can have control over getting a lot of government contracts, you can actually get the government contracts that pays you like 5 different times for one fucking action. Because SpaceX can't launch without the services of Blue Origin or United Launch Services. So in order to hire, you got to, that's how the billionaires do it. And that's kind of the funny part, because while he's doing this, he is destroying the lives of veterans and elderly and Americans, and not just Americans. But when Trump announced his tariffs, as soon as he announced the tariffs on Canada, the largest auto manufacturing plant closed immediately for 2 weeks. That's 3,600 Canadian employees working full-time, supporting their families, lost their jobs in one night because Donald Trump did that. 3,600 hardworking auto workers lost their jobs. The problem with MAGA, the problem with Trump, the problem with Musk is they are so focused on enriching themselves, Musk especially, that they're not realizing that everyone who got them where they were in the position to do this mass fucking of everybody that they tend to be doing on a daily basis is now getting screwed by them. So the anger is building against them, and they didn't recognize the speed in which these communities, like on TikTok, like the Revolution Washington family, like all these other communities out here with these fantastic creators, that has brought everybody together to resist, to fight back intelligently, not violently. See, because nonviolence is the intelligent way to resist, because you don't have to be violent to make a point. You have to have knowledge and facts on your side and intelligence. And if one thing doesn't work, we don't have to go. If we must and people insist, great, we can do what we need to do. But that's not our preference, and that's the way we need to do this. Shoulder to shoulder, worldwide. I sat side by side on a plane with a dairy farmer as he's getting screwed. He's such a big Trump supporter. He was still blaming everyone around Trump for giving him the wrong advice, which is why the water was released from the reservoirs in the Central Valleys of California, and still making excuses for the Cheeto Von Shits and Pants. Let them do them. We all need to stand side by side, and after traveling this world in the last month, I need to tell you the people in other countries are getting screwed as well. Because of Trump, because of everything. The problem is they think we actually chose him. So number one, let them know we did not. Number two, stand shoulder to shoulder, not just with us, coast to coast, in the good old US of A, already great, can't be fucking better, once this shit is done. We stand united like we should have from day one. We forgive the trespasses of those who were head over heels in love with someone who wasn't very good for them, and they believed a bit too long that they voted for them for whatever. They're finding out their relationship was based on nothing but lies, just like we have sometime in our lives when we fell head over heels for the wrong person. Think of it that way if you can't understand them not listening to us for so fucking long about things being so obvious to us that we see that they cannot, because they are in love with a con man, in love with a man that's hugging them with one hand, stabbing them with the other, kneeing them in the balls and picking their pocket, all while trying to screw their daughters. They're in love with that guy. And until they open their eyes and see everything going on, they're going to think they're still in love. So let that teach itself. The reeducation has begun. But Elon Musk is learning. He conveniently gets to bow out using that 100 and whatever days things where he doesn't have to be registered, and then think of everything he got along the way. Think of what else was in it for Elon. So as I said in the beginning, there was a whole bunch that he collected. Think of what he had access to. He doesn't need anything else. And he still didn't have any oversight, and he still signed another couple billions of dollars worth of contracts. That's the first thing that needs to doge their way out of the fucking budget, is any contracts with him, and any contracts with the rest of Trumpty Dumpty's friends. Period. End of discussion. We need to stand side by side united. We need to stay diligent, we need to stay educated, we need to be kind, because we are all in this together. And some of us in this world are learning very, very painful lessons when they see the truth in a relationship they shouldn't have been involved in the first place. So let them take off that red hat, unlace those gold slippers, gold sneakers, close that sticky page Bible. Don't you dare open that box of $25 MAGA Crunch cereal. Just buy Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It's the same thing. Recognize the con for what it is. A con. You fell for it. Now let's help everyone else in this world stop this bullshit before it gets too far. We'll talk about everything else later, but we got a job to do. So as our Canadian friends, always our Canadian friends, would say, elbows up. We're in.